What's up, guys? We're back. It's day 3-ish now, so I'm going to give you my day 2 impressions, thoughts, reactions, and a little bit of follow-up on the Ice Trap build that I league started. Whether you're happy or upset about this league, let's dive into it. Let's start with the elephant in the room, which is the Necropolis crafting system. It seems like just about everybody thinks that this is an incredibly unfun system, so we're going to talk about a couple of the problems that I have with it. Number one is the UI. So let's talk about that UI. You go to the Necropolis, you open the morgue, and this is what you're faced with. An incredibly long list of unsortable, uncategorizable modifiers that are seemingly powerful in large numbers, but ultimately they are a pile of modifiers. There is no way to check to see if any of these are valuable in order to sell them on PoE trade. There is no way to sort them for the effect of putting some together that you may want to see. How many modifiers do I have that do X, Y, and Z? The only function that we have is search. And when you search, after you search to put one of these into the ground, it resets the search. So you have to do it again. It is incredibly tedious. It's not fun. And at the incredibly high end, it appears as if you're going to be able to make some pretty good gear. But at the middle and low end, it's basically just an alchemy orb with some slight variation depending on how many corpses you put in. It seems to be the case that without an entire spreadsheet of the exact number of corpses that you need to put in, you're better off doing just about any other crafting system in the entire game. Fossils, essences on fractured items, these are all going to be much, much better for low to mid-tier gear, unless you are looking to make a 30, 40, 50 corpse craft, which looks like it could be pretty powerful. I've seen some good items come out of the morgue, but not too many great ones. Then we have this area where if you want to take a corpse and sell it, you have to come in here and find it, which is really unfun. You have to spend a chaos orb to get a coffin, and then you have to come around and find the one that you want to put into that coffin, and then you'll have one to sell if you want. I don't think I possibly could have created a worse UI for an incredibly complex crafting system. There has to be something done about sorting. There has to be something done about being able to price check these. It's just bad in every single way. I do look forward to, however, getting into the end game and messing around with some of these high-end crafts. I've basically recently been picking up just stuff that I think is either going to be good for a wand that I'm trying to craft or for generic rings. Things like increased chance of fire, elemental, resistance modifiers. You can go and try to roll really high reses on rings. It's actually not too difficult. But at the end of the day, this crafting system is an absolute nightmare. Now, regarding the in-map system, I'm actually really interested in this system. So far, it seems to be the case that it's just making everything a lot harder, but there are things that you can add to make it strong. If you get one of these mods that says the strongest monster in the pack gets items or converted to scarabs or divines, you can make you can make good money from using those. However, most of the time, it appears to be the case that this is just making everything harder, and then adding a few more rare packs isn't really doing much. And because these aren't targetable, you can't really force them onto your maps in order to get more rares for a strategy you might be doing with scarabs. It's just kind of random. 2% chance to drop a binding orb. This is going to net you between 0 and 2 binding orbs in a map. It's really not great. These are mostly not great, but they do serve to make your maps a lot harder. And if you're not careful, putting multi-proj on dangerous enemies or fizzes extra chaos on big physical damage-based monsters, it's going to get you one shot a lot. So I think the average player is probably having a pretty bad time with this system, because they're getting 1 or 2 binding orbs and then they're getting one shot. A quick rundown on how these little logos work here. 50% more pack size just means you're getting more pack size. That's very nice. You have the minus, this is less pack size. You can use the more pack size things with interesting all flames. When I think of what do I want to use with a more pack size modifier, let's go for something like pack monsters can drop X. If you want to drop a lot of splinters of tool, you take this and you drop it over here, and you're going to have 50% more splinters dropping in that map. This modifier tier downside, that does actually work with negatives. So if you get a really bad modifier over here that's bad for your build, you find the double down arrows and it will actually lower the chance. So as you see here, it's 40% chance to block. You put it on this guy, it's only 20. That also works with the devoted modifier. So this is 2% chance. If you put it here, it'll lower it to 1% chance. So anytime you see this down modifier, you usually want to take one of the more difficult mods that you have for your build specifically and put it there. To be completely honest, I have not been interacting with this system that much, other than throwing on packs can drop X on increased pack size mobs here. So I find the easiest thing to do is to put your devoted mods up top. This is usually the highest density packs. So up here you see pack density high. You want more chance for rare mobs in your map, so you put this with the highest one. That's basically what I've been doing so far. And then every once in a while I find a nice interaction between an all flame and one of these mob modifiers. The all flames are pretty cool. I really look forward to engaging with these as I go into different strategies and maybe find some really lucky ones. I know there are mods here that you can get that give you divines and scarabs. So I haven't seen any good ones yet, and I am level 93, so not great, but we'll continue to push through and try to learn more about the League mechanic. Quickly, we will touch on the Ice Trapper that I've been playing. It was my League starter. There's a guide on max roll for it. I am having a blast. This build is phenomenal. If you got in early, you could get some really, really good deals. Like I got this Sunblast on day 1, I think before I even got to maps for 10C. Prices hovered around 1 Divine, 100C for a Sunblast, which is really not that bad considering you don't need that much expensive gear in the build. And I've just been slowly upgrading all of my gear pieces. I was able to buy this Carcass Jack with +2 Trap or Mine on it. Again, you can get AoE or Trap and Mine. I bought this for 50C and then 6 linked it myself. I got very unlucky. I spent about 4 divines linking this. But the damage feels absolutely phenomenal. I have completed my Atlas. I have 115 out of 115 here. I have 3 of my Void Stones. I have not done the 4th Void Stone yet. I only have 2 of the fragments. I'll probably just buy the other 2 today on stream and do Uber Elder. I've got 2 invitations down. I need to do Forgotten, Hidden, Elder Slayers, and Feared still. A couple of favorited slots left, but should take all that down today. Really am enjoying this build. I have not yet moved to the cluster setup. I haven't even looked at what those clusters would cost to buy yet, so still got plenty of time there. Some interesting tech that I played around with for a while before I switched to the low life setup is actually using Sorrow of the Divine in my 5th slot. And basically what this does is when your life is not full, and this flask is applying to you, when you press your life flask, that life flask also applies to your ES. So I was not running Wicked Ward for a while and using this flask instead and basically just spamming my life flask anytime I took a hit to my life. I wouldn't recommend doing it with a low life setup as well because your life pool is even smaller and it's a little bit harder to maintain. But before that, I really enjoyed this. Consecrated Ground gives you more regen, and then all of that's converted over to Zealot's Oath. So your ES regen is through the roof, and while this flask is on, every time you press this life flask, you're pretty much guaranteed full ES. But you do have to maintain your life pool with your Divine Life Flask. If you're not careful with this and you're not paying attention, you're going to die with this setup. But I found it to be really smooth. As long as you're spamming this flask, it's no problem. Still don't have my flasks automated. I definitely am going to be doing that first thing today. So I switched over to low life towards the end of the stream yesterday. We've got some recoup rings. These were very cheap. I imagine my entire build cost me around 7 to 8 divines if I had to guess. Basically just been trying to find rares on the market. That's been pretty successful. I've spent the most money on getting implicits on my gear. I've been very unlucky. The next big upgrade for me is going to be a wand. I want to get a trigger wand. This thing is, I've been rocking this for quite a long time. Got a little multi on it, a little bit of cold spell skill levels, and that's about it. So we're going to upgrade this wand on stream today. Hilariously, I forgot to put on my Divine Blessing setup, so I was running without Hatred until about level 91. Not my proudest, but I did stream for 24 straight hours, and I'll be honest, it did have an impact on my brain. But yeah, things have been going really good. I'm enjoying this build a lot. Let's do this trade. I have switched into a new Atlas strategy where I'm basically just trying to farm as many scarabs as I can, and I'm having a lot of fun with this. Hello, dear. Can I help you? I've been having a lot of fun with this. I've been making a ton of scarabs. I haven't really sold any of them yet, but I've only been doing it for a little bit. We'll take a look at my scarab tab here. We do have a lot. I'm waiting until I have a little bit more bulk to start selling them because scarabs are going to sell much better in bulk. but really have been enjoying the new scarab system. I haven't even gone into a second or third tree yet. We're still waiting on that. Just doing some expedition, some shrines, scarab stuff, and really that's about it. So as we know more about the crafting mechanic, I plan on diving a little bit deeper into it today. I will probably make another video that talks about Necropolis and how to best min-max it. So if you want that, stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. Tthank you so much for watching. If you like this content, drop a like, a comment, and a subscribe. Or even better, stop by my Twitch, twitch.tv/AER0__. I'm live almost every single day, and I will be going live right after this video is published. So come hang out. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care.